Before we get started, I have one very important question for you. Have you seen the official gameplay reveal video for the Veilguard? If not, this video will spoil some huge moments of the upcoming game, just so you know. Now, onto the video. Well, the official gameplay reveal video was released recently and it was intense. There is a lot to be said about the setting, the combat, the dialogue and so on, but this video is not about any of that. This is about Varric and what might happen to him after the last scene featured in the gameplay video. Things are looking pretty bleak at the moment, aren't they? But there might be a glimmer of hope. So we know already from the trailer and various articles that there will be 7 companions in the Veilguard, and Varric is not one of them. However, we see him accompanying Rook across Minrathous at the very beginning of the gameplay reveal video. He is reminding Rook what they should be doing and giving some exposition, so pretty standard prologue companion stuff. Only he's not technically a member of Rook's companion squad. Those places get filled soon after by Harding and Nev Gallus. There is also no approval change with Varric when Rook makes a decision that causes other present characters to lose or gain approval. So just seeing this footage without any prior knowledge about the number and identity of the companions, it would seem odd that he is not a companion, right? Almost as if something will happen that will prevent him from being a companion further down the line.
I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going.
Once the team, consisting of Rook, Harding, Nev and Varric, is assembled, they try to confront Solas and stop his ritual to tear down the veil. The path leads them to the Arlathan forest, and right to their target. Varric then decides to talk to Solas and convince him to stop the ritual, which Harding objects to.
Solas isn't gonna stop just because an old friend asks nicely.
She has a point, but Varric cannot be dissuaded. Varric then instructs Rook to take care of the team for him and goes to face Solas alone. And those are literally the last words he says to Rook before walking away. Nope, this doesn't bode well at all. Varric then tries to talk to Solas and convince him to stop the ritual, but that goes as well as Harding had predicted. Seeing how Solas is not responding to words, Varric readies Bianca, and then this happens. Holy cow, this was the moment when my jaw hit the floor. Bianca the crossbow lies shattered to pieces, the thing that was as much a part of Varric as his chest hair or his humor. In Dragon Age 2, Bianca is the first part of Varric that we see in his introduction scene. We literally first see the crossbow and then his face. She was an integral part of his character in Inquisition as well, the only unique weapon with its own upgrades. Bianca is unique in the universe as well, as she was the only such crossbow ever made. She was a frequent theme in Varric's banter with other companions. She was Varric. And now, she's gone. But the surprises don't end here. The loss of Bianca didn't stop Varric from trying to reason with Solas some more, but Rook and the team realize the negotiations are not going so well. Rook then suggests taking down one of the pillars surrounding the ritual spot and disrupting Solas' plan that way. After more effort than initially anticipated, Rook and Harding push down the pillar and the whole site begins collapsing. Solas is distressed, Varric looks like he's about to run away but chooses not to, and then these two figures appear behind Solas. The gameplay reveal video ends here on this massive cliffhanger. But what will happen afterwards? Rook and the companions will probably be fine, as will Solas, but what about Varric? The last words he spoke to Rook are pretty foreboding, as they not only suggest Varric is not coming back, but also that he, or at least some part of him, didn't expect to survive the encounter with Solas. And there is also the destruction of Bianca, which may also symbolize the destruction of Varric, or at least the Varric that we know. These two things combined are a clear indicator that Varric is not coming back from that ritual site, Either he's not coming back at all, or he's not coming back unscathed. And truth be told, Varric has had death looming over him for some time now. The plans to kill off his character go all the way back to Dragon Age 2 and the cancelled expansion called The Exalted March. In 2017, Mike Laidlaw, former creative director for Dragon Age, posted a Twitter thread detailing the plans for the cancelled expansion. Former lead writer David Gaider pitched in to say, quote, "Me, I'm just sad I never got to kill Varric," end quote. He went on to explain that Varric was supposed to die at the end of the expansion and what it would look like. Quote, "Well, you know that scene in Wrath of Khan where Spock goes into the dilithium chamber because he's a Vulcan? Well, imagine that, but with Varric and red lyrium and because he's a dwarf," end quote. Wow, imagine how epic, but also at the same time heart-wrenching that would have been. But the plans to kill off Varric didn't end there, and once again, it was David Gaider who wanted that to happen. In 2023, in another Twitter thread, Gaider was talking about the plans to have Corypheus attack Skyhold, which obviously got scrapped in the end. In that thread, he said, quote, "By the way, if you're wondering who I would have killed in Skyhold given the chance, the answer is obviously Varric. That dwarf was meant to die in the cancelled Dragon Age 2 expansion and escaped his fate despite having been in my crosshairs ever since." End quote. Now, Gaider left BioWare in 2016, and you would think Varric was safe once the writer thirsty for his blood was no longer in the company, but the idea might have persisted. In a recent interview with IGN, Corinne Bosch, the game director for the Veilguard, was asked whether Veilguard will feature permadeath, and she said, quote, "I don't want to get into spoilers, but you just might lose some characters. Now in what we saw there, obviously no one died. In a situation like that, they can get injured, they can influence how they think about you. If they're ready to hit the field with you, it does get more dangerous. We might lose some people along the way," end quote. In another part of the same interview, she described Varric as the franchise's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, we all know what happened to Obi-Wan. But even if we imagine for a moment that she didn't mean Obi-Wan as a literal Obi-Wan, but more like a mentor character, it still doesn't bode well for Varric. I mean, mentors usually don't live very long in fiction. They are used to impart wisdom, set the hero on their journey, and then die, often giving the hero additional motivation to go after the antagonist. The death of the mentor is a common stage in the hero's journey, a moment in the story after which the hero must continue their journey alone. If Varric were to die right after the scene the gameplay reveal video ends on, it most definitely won't be by Solas' hand. Solas had many opportunities to attack Varric during their conversation, and he didn't. The only time he used his power, it was directed at Bianca, not Varric. If Varric is going to be killed in this scene, it will most likely be by one of the two figures appearing at the very end behind Solas. Solas looked surprised, afraid even, to see them, meaning he didn't anticipate their arrival. They are not his allies, their appearance is the result of something he didn't plan to happen, such as Rook and Harding pushing the pillar and the ritual site collapsing. So if Varric dies in this scene, it will be an unintended consequence of Rook's action, which, while tragic, would open some interesting possibilities for playing Rook and devising their character and motivation. It could even influence Rook's relationship with other companions, and would definitely put us, the players, in a unique spot of playing a character who indirectly and accidentally had a part to play in the death of one of the most beloved characters in the Dragon Age universe. But Varric's death is not the only possible outcome here. As I said earlier, we know for certain Rook, Harding, Nev and Solas will survive this encounter. Varric could also. Maybe he got seriously injured and will recover over time. And if that were to happen, imagine the state of mind Varric would be in that moment. He failed to talk down Solas, he lost Bianca, and he witnessed another world-threatening event. Any one of those things would be enough to make him wish to take a back seat and leave Rook in charge while he takes on the role of an advisor. But also, what happened at the ritual site doesn't have to be the end of Bianca either. As far as we know, Bianca the dwarf is still alive and still in contact with Varric. It would be possible to get her to repair the crossbow. I imagine the moment Varric and his repaired crossbow are reunited would be quite emotional.
Bianca and I have been through a lot together.
Whatever is about to happen, whatever road the game takes, I am certain Dragon Age the Veilguard will be the last appearance of Varric, at least in the games. We might encounter him in the extended media, who knows. I'm sure most of you are aware of this, but Varric's writer, Mary Kirby, was laid off from BioWare several months ago. Mary Kirby's work on Dragon Age is so much more than writing one of the fan-favorite characters. She also wrote Stan, Logain, Meryl, Vivian. She wrote some of the very memorable main quests and the Hardin Hightown book, among many other things. I cannot imagine how or why it was decided her contribution will not be needed in the future, but I think it is a clear indicator we will not see Varric again. Now it only awaits us to see what ending Varric will have, and luckily the answer is just a few months away. But what do you think? Do you think Varric will escape the Arlthan forest? Will he get Bianca back? What role will he play in the Veilguard? Tell me in the comments. I look forward to reading your thoughts and theories, and I wish you all a wonderful day. Goodbye!